wake up. I'm recording a full day of eating today, so say what's up to the camera. Oh yeah. 81, and it's squashed. Never mind. 0.3. I'm gonna do a full day of tracking today. Yeah. So, oh yeah, full day of tracking. Let's get it. What's up guys, it's your boy Jay Shane, the Keto Road, coming at you with a new video today, a full day of eating of, as you guessed it, my targeted keto carnivore diet. What does that mean? Targeted means that I'm targeting carbohydrates around my workouts. Keto means that I'm keeping it within ketogenic macros, 70-75% fat, and carnivore means that 90 to 95% of my diet is completely meat. I've been testing this for 2 days now. I feel confident in it. Not super confident because I've only been doing it for 2 days, but confident enough that I want to share it with you guys because it works for me intuitively or tracking. I'll get into why and some of the nuances here in a bit. But we got to go for a run in about an hour, 7:30-ish. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to have our first carb meal. I had it on Monday. I'm going to do the same run I did on Monday. Monday, I had my carb meal post-run. And I felt okay, but I'm doing a slightly elevated heart rate run. So I'm wondering if I fuel my system with the carbs beforehand, if it's gonna help with cortisol, keeping heart rate lower. Keeping heart rate lower allows me to run faster. You see how that works? So if I can use the carbs to keep me to run my heart rate to stay lower so I can run faster, I can oxidize more fat, it's gonna be great. So on Monday, I ate it, and I kid you not, 3 hours later, my blood sugar was 80 and my ketones were 0.5. So I was in nutritional ketosis after 50 to 60 grams of carbohydrates post-run. So I didn't work these back off. These just got utilized for glycogen after my run. So we're gonna try it again today. As you saw my ketone numbers, all that, great. I'm gonna go make the meal, and I will see you then. All right, guys, so here we go. I called this the potato cake. Carb cake or whatever you want to call it. See how tiny it is? So basically what I do is I do this is 129 grams of sweet potato. Normally I just look right now I'm doing intuitive, and it's really nice because I just kind of look like I get one of these because I know about what 130 grams looks like. So I just get 6 or 7 of the same size. I boil them, keep them in my fridge. When you cool them off, it creates more of a resistant starch, which is nice. And then it's 5 grams of collagen, a tablespoon of butter. I think that this was exactly 11 grams. And then a tablespoon of honey, raw honey. It's dark because it's got raw cacao mixed into it, which is nice because that's going to bring in some magnesium, which is great for my central nervous system. So we're going to eat this, wait an hour, and then we're going to go for our run. So I'll do the first bite on camera. Oh, yeah. That never gets old. That is so good. I mean, let me do say, when you do have real sweet things in your diet, hold on, let me preference this. Let me say this right. I'm not saying that if you go eat candy, you're not gonna want more candy, but there's something about natural, a little bit of natural honey with this that I don't know. I don't even crave keto sweets anymore, really at all. My wife makes them, and I'm just kind of I might have one, but there's nothing. There's no compulsion at all. This is my treat for the day almost. It's so good. All right, guys, here we go. 1 hour, 10-minute warm up to Mafetone, and then at 165 beats per minute for 50 minutes. Let's get it. What's up, guys? All right, just got back from our run. All in all, good run. I've been testing something, and I think I've confirmed. So I've tried doing my carb meal pre and post run. We'll check my levels and my ketone levels and all that today anyways, but based off how I feel, I think that running fasted is much better because even an hour afterwards, it's complex carbohydrates, right, the sweet potato. So my body's still digesting nutrients while I run, and so my body's having to share blood flow. And so I think that having the carbs post-run for glycogen recovery, I think it's going to be better for my cortisol and stuff, and overall for my run performance. Also, and then on the really long run, so when I go over, 8, 9 miles over an hour, every hour I need to do 20 grams of simple carbohydrate. So some honey inside some like BHB supplement with some water and electrolytes. Do that like once an hour. So like if I have a 2-hour run, I'll do it once after my first hour mark. But those, so basically every run, I'll start it off fasted. And then if I need to ingest the simple carbs mid-run to give me a quick glucose molecule for that glycolysis because I'm running out of glycogen and my central nervous system is messing up, I can do that. And then just have my post-carb meal. So I think that's what we're going to do going forward because I like the way I feel. But yeah, not a bad run. Felt good. Nothing hurt, which was awesome. Like there was no pain in my body. It was a real smooth run. So, okay, let's check ketones in blood. All right, guys, here we go. Ketones, blood sugar. 106.2. Totally normal. So let me explain a little bit too. And then we'll check this in an hour and then 2 hours. So the way it works is my mafetone pace is 155 beats per minute. If I go over that, my body will become predominantly burning sugar for the workout. And 50 minutes out of 60 of this run, my heartbeat was at like average 163, 164. So I was in a still oxidizing fat. Obviously, there's ketones in my blood, but I'm definitely using a lot more glycogen. And then obviously the carbohydrates that were coming into my system from what I ate this morning, which is kind of the point because that exogenous carbohydrate source comes in and it tells my cortisol, you don't have to release as much cortisol to deal with this. This isn't as stressful as you think it is. Central nervous system, you've got plenty of energy coming, relax. And it allows me to have a good run and not get form. My heart rate doesn't get irregular. So it works really well. So we'll come back in an hour and then right before lunch, I'll check it one more time and I'll kind of show you how it goes downward. All right, what's up guys? We're back. Here we go. 1 hour. Oh, the tire. 123.4. So ketones and blood sugar have gone up. All right, so that's 1 hour. See you in another hour. All right, what is up, guys? All right, here we go. Blood sugar and ketones, 2 hours post-run. I have no idea what these numbers are going to be. 85. Oh, do you see that? 0.4. 85 and 0.4. Can you see that? 85.4. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Now my blood sugar is going to stay at like 85 the whole day. 80. I'll wake up tomorrow. Might be in nutritional ketosis. I'm at 0.4, dude. 0.4 ketones. Blood sugar is 85. Can't beat that. All right, let's make lunch. All right, what's going on, guys? So here we are with lunch. So for lunch, let me move my light. So we've got, this is so hard. We've got some venison, sour cream, and pork chops, all cooked in 2 tablespoons of beef bacon fat and avocado oil mix. I fried something and I saved the fat, so that's exciting. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into this real quick. I want to get in a bite, show you guys. Sorry for all the lighting issues. I'm working on that. I am. Can you see how delicious that is? Oh, it's so good. I bought the whole loin and I smoked it for like 3 hours until it hit temp. It was so good. Hold on. Oh. Look at that. Look at that. So good. Okay, so I asked y'all on Instagram to post your questions so I could answer them. And so got some good comments. I want to answer them. So this is from Brandon V. Villerin. Sorry if I totally screwed up your last name. I put the Instagram tag here. He says, after cutting for several months, how long should you reverse diet? Should it be shorter than the time you spent cutting or about the same length of time of the cut? Also, after the reverse diet, how soon would you recommend to start cutting again? Excuse me. So, okay, good. That's a great question. So, I don't think the reverse diet should be as long as the cut. The longer the reverse diet is, don't get me wrong, like the leaner you're going to stay because you're going to give your body more time to adapt to the increase in calories. But at the same time, if like, let's say your metabolism isn't as down-regulated, if you take too long in the lower parts, then you might actually give it more time to adapt lower. And so you might actually gain a little bit more on the top end of the reverse diet. So I would say if you cut for 6 months, you should reverse diet for 3. I usually cut it in half. So about half the time to reverse diet back out is probably a good line. Honestly, when it comes to like when to cut again, it all depends on where you're at metabolically. Like I know people that can reverse diet, hold their maintenance for a month, and then cut, and they do fine. Sorry, I got meat in my throat. But you know, so they can do that. Other people, you know, like me, like when I diet, dude, after a hard prep, I can't diet again for like 6-7 months. It takes forever for my body to like get equalized. So it really varies on the person. But I would just play it by ear. Go to maintenance for a month or two, and then try to cut your calories by 300 or 400 for a week. And if you don't lose any weight other than like the initial water weight, you know, and you just like you're not losing anything no matter how low your calories go, your body might not be ready for it. It might be too much of a shock. So that's how I would test it personally. Had to go get the Redmond's Real Salt. You can't do anything without Redmond's Real Salt, and that's just facts. So as you can see, like the diet is primarily meat based. I like it, you know. I might, if I want to get my fats up, like I might have some keto brick today to get some more energy in me, just because I do have legs, which is, you know, legs plus running a mile. I mean, that's pretty taxing. All right, our next question is from Irma W. Rana. I'm assuming. I'm sorry if that's wrong. Hi, John. I would like to hear about protein threshold. I went through a phase. I was too skinny, last year, when I was eating 4 pounds of meat in one sitting. It lasted for about 3 months, and then bam! From feeling great, all of a sudden, I was tired, hungry, all the time, moody. So how can I find my protein threshold without eating a whole cow? So I don't think that there was a protein threshold. I think that there was nutrients that your body needed, and once it filled up, you started to spill over, and so your body got lethargic because it was processing more than it needed to. I don't necessarily think that was a protein threshold thing. I think that was a nutrients thing. So protein threshold is a day-to-day thing. So it's looking at your protein macros in respect to your fat macros and trying to figure out, you know, how do I feel best? So the best way to do that is generally start with like a 76-77% fat ratio. Do it for a week. The next week, go 1% lower with your fat and 1% higher with your protein. And then do that every week until you get to a point where you start to feel tired and lethargic. And then go, and to confirm, look at the week before that one, go back to that, and if you feel good and all the symptoms go away, then you know that that percentage is about your protein threshold. Now understand though that some people don't have protein thresholds. Like I know people that can go to like, it takes them getting down to like 60% fat for them to start to feel bad. I have a range, like 65% fat to like 75% fat. I can eat within that and I don't notice the difference. Other people, you know, you take them below 75 and they feel terrible. Other people can go down to 60 and they feel great, right? So play with that, but don't have any expectations. Keep an open mind and be okay with the results. All right, guys. So, you know, it's funny. I was making dinner, or my last meal of the day, really. I might eat again. Who knows? You know, intuitive eating. I'm trying to be, my point is, like, it's hard because, like, I feel like a lot of YouTubers do this that do keto or other kind of diets. They kind of tweak their day for that recording so that they hit the macros so that no one like jumps their butt or whatever. I just don't want to do that. Like this is what I was craving, so this is what I'm going to be eating. And it's funny because when I'm eating intuitively, it's nice because I don't have to worry about calories. You know, if I eat a little bit more because I train that day, I eat a little bit more. If I want to eat a little bit less, I eat a little bit less. And it's not a big deal. But like when I'm tracking, I can see the numbers and it like gets to my head. So this is interesting. Eating intuitive, but tracking it for you guys. But anyways, so what we've got is we've got some plain Too Good yogurt with keto brick. And then we've got a sirloin seared in bacon fat with a load with sauerkraut. So as you can see, so I had venison, chicken liver, pork tenderloin, and then sirloin as my main foods. And, and then yogurt, and then a bunch of beef fat, right? So that was like the majority of my day. And then we had the keto brick for added fat, and then we had the sweet potato and the honey for my carb sources. And so here are the macros, right? Here are the calories. This is on average what my day looks like now, and I feel flipping fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this real quick, and then I want to show y'all the supplements I take every day and kind of talk about why I take what I take. See y'all then. What's up, guys? All right, so real quick, I know you're probably thinking the macros that I showed in the last screen, you're like, whoa, isn't looking like you ate enough to hit that many calories. And you're right. I had more keto brick right after I turned off the camera because I wanted more fats. I just felt like it. So that's what that was. So that's how that all adds up. Anyways, so here are my supplements. As you can see in the corner, I am an old man at this point, and that's fine. I used to not take anything, and then after this running thing happened, I decided to rather be safe than sorry. And I got on the phone with a lot of people, and I've set myself up for success this time. I'm taking it very serious. I want to become at least a semi-professional, if not professional, endurance athlete. Like, I want to take this really serious. So, all right, let's get into it. So the first one is phosphocholine. Okay. Now, this is a really complex molecule, okay? So it's got glycerol, fatty acids. It's really good for cognitive function, right? It's good for myelin sheath neuron health, and it's good for your liver. So it's good for liver. I'm always trying to find ways to detox my liver to help with inflammatory pathways because running and lifting creates a lot of inflammation. All right, the next one is manganese. I take manganese every day. This is a raw whole food source, so it has like alfalfa leaf and all that in it, but all that's extracted. The manganese is from that concentrated vegetable blend. So that's kind of all that's in it. You can pause the camera and read this if you want to. So I like this. It's just manganese is really good for central nervous system function. It's just, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy taking it, and I like that it has all these microgreens in it. Okay, it's kind of cool. I don't know. All right, super vitamin B complex. Now, I do not need as much that's in here. One serving is, let's see, like for example, 100 milligrams of thiamine. I'm only going to absorb half of that, right? But if I take a full serving, that means at least if I piece stuff out, I'm spilling over. And honestly, it wasn't expensive, so I'm not worried about it. I'd rather be topped off, because it's not like carbohydrates or fats, right? It's not like I'm getting ready to get on stage. Like, spilling over isn't an issue when it comes to vitamin B, right? I just pee it out. So I'd rather be safe than sorry in that resort. The next one is just one that I found that I really like. It's an advanced antioxidant complex. I'm really big on the antioxidants now. Why? Inflammatory pathways. This one has vitamin C, green tea extract, turmeric, glucoselect, and lutein, right? So eye health. It's just really good for inflammation. The next one is D3 and K2. I get plenty of D3 from the sun, but some days I don't. My off days, I'm not outside a lot. Even if I go stand out there for an hour, it's not when I go running for 3 hours, right? So having this extra, the days I run, I take 1. On the days I don't run, I take 2. And then it also has vitamin K2, which is a really, really awesome vitamin. So just making sure that I'm getting enough of those is something that I find super important. The next one is vitamin E. Again, this is antioxidant purposes. It's also really good for your skin. 1 pill of those a day. Then I do 2 grams, so 2 of these 1,000 milligram tablets of vitamin C. Again, this is all about antioxidants and inflammatory pathways, 100%. The next one is some BHBs. I take these pre-run. It's just to get some ketones in my system. I mean, you're talking not even, like, if you think this affects any of my blood meters after I run, it's just not true. But I take this more, so I'll take this sometimes before I run, but I take it every day that I'm off. After I check my blood sugar in the morning and make sure that my fasted glucose is good, because that tells me a lot about how I handle my nutrition for the day going forward. But this is really good for fighting inflammation. Ketones are great for inflammation, right? So I like taking those to help. A lot of this is about inflammation, because if I can bring inflammation down, I can keep cortisol low. If I can keep cortisol low, my body recovers better. If it recovers better, I can run and be optimal, okay? Which brings me to the last thing. So this is a new thing that I'm taking. It's called Thyroid Stem. And it's what it sounds like. It's a stimulator for your thyroid. I was doing an NAQ on myself, POW, and as you can see, thyroid is quite high on the priority list, and everything else is pretty good. Pituitary is a little high, but it has a relationship with my thyroid. So if it's dysfunctional, my thyroid could be dysfunctional, or vice versa, right? If it's not acting up right, it could be confusing my pituitary. So both of those kind of have a relationship there. And so what this is it just has, literally it has a good healthy dose of everything that would be in my thyroid, right? So vitamin A, iodine, magnesium, selenium, copper, manganese. Some of that I was already taking, right? And it has lamb, pituitary, and hypothalamus gland. It's got some probiotics. It's got tyrosine and catalyst. So like it's also got stearic acid, which helps with fat oxidation. So, and I already eat a lot of that from animal fats. So that's pretty much, I mean, those are my supplements. That's what I take. I still have I take pre-workout and BCA. So on days that I don't take BCAAs on my off days, but on my training days, I do take BCAAs right before I work out because, so the way I have it laid out now is every other day I run and lift. So on Monday, I run and lift, and then I take Tuesday completely off. Wednesday, I run and lift, and then Thursday, I take completely off. Friday, I run and lift, and then I think Saturday, I push it again. I do my long run. I run and lift again. So like Friday will be like arms and a short run, and Saturday will be my long run, and then I'll end it with legs. And then I'll take Sunday off completely, and then my week will start again. So after every hard run and lift day, I try really hard to take the next day completely off from exercise. I really want my inflammatory pathways to, flush out. And that seems to have worked. I will say, so when it comes to the diet, I've been playing with it, and I find that it really depends on my recovery score. So on days I run, I do my targeted keto like you saw today. And you saw how my blood sugar, it was digesting the carbohydrates. By about 2 hours after my run, my blood sugar was lower than it was in the morning, or right there at my blood levels in the morning. Ketones were higher than they were in the morning. So, I mean, that speaks for itself. And again, no one can argue with me. I mean, you can if you want, but doing this style of keto, this targeted keto carnivore, is the best I've felt in a long time. And I can calculate it, I can control it, and it lets me run, and it lets me lift, and it lets me build muscle, and it lets my cortisol stay calm, and I'm not having like crazy mood swings and stuff. And so on the days that I train, I do the targeted keto. And then the days that I have off, if I wake up and my recovery score is in the green, so Whoop has like this green, yellow, red thing. If it's in the green, I do strict keto. I just go back to strict keto. So basically I'll eat exactly what I ate today in a sense. Sometimes the calories are way lower. Sometimes it's like 2,200. Sometimes it's like, it varies. But I'll take my carbs completely away. I'll go down to like 0 carbs. If my recovery is in the yellow or red, I'll bring those carbohydrates back, because that means my body is still struggling to replenish glycogen and it's still having a hard time recovering. And I find that works for me. Like what I'll notice is like if I do a workout and then the next day I'm in the green and I do strict keto, the next day I'm still in the green. In fact, my recovery is higher. If I have a really hard workout like Saturday, I did legs and ran my longest run for the week. Woke up the next morning and I was in the yellow and the red. And so I did a TKD day again, even though it was my off day. And the next day, so Sunday, I was in the green. And then I did strict keto. And then the next day I woke up at a 98% recovery score. So that system works for me really well. It's all about, really for me, like right now I'm not trying to I was tracking calories really closely and grams really closely for the past couple weeks because I wanted to fine tune this. But now so like I feel like when it comes to controlling your diet, there's a control. There has to be a control somewhere. It could be your weight. It could be the way you look. For me, it's my recovery. So my recovery and how I'm recovering from my runs and my workouts really dictates how I eat. Right now, I'm showing signs of a low thyroid. Like some of those symptoms are like cold circulation in your hands. If you notice, like I have like leaner arms and legs, but like all my body fat's around my waist, which is, I don't have a lot, but like I've always noticed that when I get lean for shows and stuff, or like I diet down like 1,500 calories, like I know like that's the last to go, but like for me, it's like, I'm at like, I'm 8% body fat, and literally like everything else is like super veiny and lean, and like my waist just ain't having it. So, and it's been since I was in high school. And so I've always wondered about that. And so just the fact that I did this and that showed up. And there's other ones too, like my mood swings lately. And so my theory is that I was prepping, and prepping hurts all your hormones. But then when I stopped prepping and I started marathon training, even though my calories were going up, my running was going up. And so any increase in calories was negated from all the running increases. So I don't think my thyroid ever had time to heal. And I think I'm paying for that now. So this is the help that. Obviously I'll let you know how it goes, but I feel good. I'm not really worried about calories right now. In fact, I'm trying to make sure I eat enough, which obviously constitutes some control of macros. So like if I look at my thing and like I've only eaten 1,800 calories, I'll probably eat something else. I don't want to undereat by any stretch right now, not until, I feel where I should. But yeah, so when I decide to start losing weight or whatever, if it doesn't happen naturally, which it might not, I will start controlling then. But for now, this is what I'm doing. This is what works for me. this is my truth, and I'm happy with it, and I feel good. You know, I'm oxidizing fat at a higher level. I'm closer to nutritional ketosis or in nutritional ketosis more often now than I was for the past, since April, which makes me feel great. You know, my fasted glucose is the best it's been in months. I'm running well. I'm strong. I'm oxidizing fat well. I'm so happy to have found a unique version of keto that works for me, because it helps me understand better the uniqueness that needs to come for everybody's keto journey, right? So enough of my rambling though. If you have any questions about the supplements or the training or whatever, put it in the comment section below. I love you guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Like and subscribe. Share this video. Till next time.